All right, let's go out to H-Town and talk to Chris. What's up, Chris?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, man.
You got it. What's up, man?
So, last week my car actually got repossessed.
What happened, man?
I knew that I was behind on payments. I just didn't realize how far I was. And
Can I ask you a hard question?
Came true.
Can I ask you a real hard question?
Yeah.
Why did you choose to not know? Like you made a choice to avoid how bad it was.
Yeah, I was avoiding it, man.
To avoid reality. How come?
I guess to cope with like the stress from it and like the not having enough money, I guess, because I knew I was overpaying it and for the car, and whenever it got repossessed, I sort of felt almost relieved in a way.
Of course, yeah.
But
and then that shame sits in, something fears, huh?
I don't know how you knew I was gonna say that, man.
Bro, dude, because I mean, it's like that. It's like it's the self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like, I'm gonna avoid it. I'm gonna avoid it. I'm gonna avoid it. It happens. I told you you were a loser. We shouldn't have bought this car because we're dumb. We don't make enough money because we're a loser. And then the bank can't even trust us. It's just a loop, right? And then here's your next step. Tell me if I'm wrong. The next step is you wallow in it for a few days. You like make snow angels in the shame. And you figure out a way to numb it out. Either you drink it away or you Netflix it away or you just go hang out with your bros it away. And then you find yourself like without a car. And then the next move is to go do something stupid, like go to a payday lender or go to one of the guys on the side of the highway that's at like 35% interest on a car note. Right?
Yeah, I've been sleeping on it. And
Chris, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please, God, don't do that. Okay?
Right.
Okay? Don't do that. Like, it's already, the house fell down. Don't burn it down. You can still put it back up, okay? Cool?
Right.
All right. Before we even get going to your question, I want you to hear the reason I can just track, here's how this whole thing spins out, and here's where you're about to head, and you're like, yeah, actually, is I've taken this call a jillion times. What does that mean? That means you're not alone. That means you did something dumb, but you're not stupid. That means you're in a hole, but that's not where you live. You're not a hobbit. Okay?
Thank you, man.
There's a light on the back end of this thing. You just need to shake the cobwebs off. And I love you enough to both like kind of give you a hard time about it. And also let's get a roadmap out of here. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. So they come and take your car. Then what?
So my parents are my neighbors, and my dad happened to be awake whenever the guy was repoing it. And I thought he was going to be mad at me because he had no idea that I was behind on payments. And I kind of, as they were pulling away, I had to explain the whole thing to him right then and there. And it just surprised me right away. He was like, well, you got to go to work, don't you? You can go ahead and take my car. And when I got to work, I just tried not to think about it. And my brother has an extra car, and he said, hey, you can take that car and use it to save us some money. And I just wasn't expecting that, man. And it, in a way, made me feel really guilty because I'm in this situation and I have all these people that want to help me. And
hold on, that's not what you feel. I don't think that's what it is. I think you feel this weird, gnarly sense of shame because you don't think you're worthy of that much love, and your old man does, and your brother does. They love you way the hell more than Chris loves Chris. Fair?
Yeah, you're right.
Where did that story come? Why did Chris start talking trash to Chris?
Like, all year I've been trying to better myself, man, and work on, like, my anger issues and discipline and self-love. I got your book back in March, Knowing Your Past, Change Your Future, and I had to put it down because it just started getting really real, man.
Yeah, dude, you are a masterclass in avoidance. You can take my life from me. You can take my car from me, but I will not look under the hood, man. Like, you bought a new car and you just duct taped over the gas gauge. I don't even want to know. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's really catching up with me.
That's right. It always does. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Dude, you won the lottery, man, because it usually catches most people when they're 51. And their wife leaves them and they get fired and they got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, and like I feel like my wife notices that I've changed a lot. I notice that I've changed a lot, and like when we look at old pictures, we can see the difference in my face. Like I'm not angry like I used to get. And this whole past weekend, she's been trying to tell me, don't stress out, don't let it get you mad. We'll get through it like we always do. And just great support. And this past week was my daughter's first week of school, and it was also the day it got repossessed was our 9-year anniversary together. And I feel like it's tainted now because of this whole situation. And
dude, this is where you start. This is your starting line.
Yeah,
this is a new starting line. That's it. It's not where the race finished. This is where the sucker begins. This is on your 19th anniversary when you point back and you're like, remember where we were? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't let this is a big moment, right? This is a big moment. But you can't let this, I mean, bro, look what you just rattled off in front of me. You've been married almost a decade, which is unheard of these days because people think so little of covenant. You have a wife that is holding your hand through hell. You have an old man who's holding your hand through hell. You have a brother who said, here's a car. You have a daughter who's starting school, who's healthy enough to go to school.
Yeah, I'm really grateful, man.
But all you can think of is, I'm such a loser.
That's when I'm alone. When I look in the mirror, it's like that's whenever it all sits in. Mm-hmm. And then when I go to my family, I sort of like, I don't want to say I fake it, but I hide it.
You do. You fake it with everybody, man. You fake it with everybody. Fake it with the bank, fake it with your old man, fake it with your brother, fake it with your wife, fake it with your daughter. And I'll tell you this, they all know. They all know. And they don't know exactly what you're wrestling with, but they know. And I'll tell you, like the big problem with the like self-help, like flex it out movement is that it often allows people to skip over dealing with the core issue. And then you end up with $100,000 and a 6-pack abs and you freaking hate yourself. And so you have to do those things out of a sense of I'm worth a different kind of life. Not if I get these things, then I'll have a different life, because you won't. The same dude will just show up. The same guy who hates himself will show up. Does that make sense? And it sounds so cheesy to say that, bro. Trust me. I know it does, but it just sounds cheesy. But it's true. Over and over and over and over. I remember being in the car when the head of publishing, my buddy Preston, handed me his cell phone with the email on it that said, hey, your book has gone #1. And I was super excited. And then instantly after that, he handed that to me, the phone rings and it was Dave, my boss, and he calls me and I was so excited. Then I called my mom and my wife. I called my wife and then my mom. And then, dude, I didn't have anybody else to call. That same lonely dude who tells everybody to not be lonely showed up with the #1 book in the country. See what I'm saying? Like, I got it. And I got it. And I went with me.
Yeah.
So I tell you, you go with you up and you go with you down. So tell me, what is it about Chris that you wish was different right now? You wish you made more money? You wish your career was different? What is it?
No, I love my career. I make decent money.
What do you do?
I'm a machinist.
Oh, so you're one of those guys that can actually do something with their life? That's pretty cool.
I love what I do, man.
Dude, I'm a podcaster, for God's sake. You can build a machine. That's amazing, man. Yeah. All right, what else? What do you wish is different?
I just wish I could get my money right.
Okay. What is it about your money that's off? Are you buying stuff to flex out for people to show them that you're more, to try to convince them you're more? What is it?
No, I feel like I've made a lot of bad decisions in the past 8 years of overspending on food and getting loans here and there, buying cars with ridiculous payments, and
I know, but what is that car getting you?
nothing. At the time, I thought it was a good decision, and I got a bad deal on it,
Okay.
and made a mistake, and then started resenting it and trying to hide from it.
Okay. So step one of all wellness, whether that you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to make money, whether you're trying to get right spiritually, whether you're trying to get right psychologically and emotionally, is choosing reality. I have to choose to live in reality. This is the state of things. The reason I'm asking about your money is it a matter of like, I thought this was a good idea and then I got into it and oh my gosh, it wasn't a good idea, which means it's knowledge, it's insight. I don't have the right tools in front of me. I thought this was the right machine to use and ended up I should have used this machine. Is it that? Or is it impulse control and you're just kind of acting like a toddler when it comes to your money?
Part of it's a little bit of all, like, because I know I do have impulse, and I know that I made like financing sound so good in the moment.
All right, so here's how I've handled financing in my life. I will never willingly chain my family to a bank again.
Yeah.
I will never willingly chain myself to somebody who gives me money for a depreciating asset, which is what a car loan is. Every day I own that it's worth less money, and that banknote continues to stay the same. I just refuse to I refuse to be owned. See what I'm saying? And so it's not about like, I don't know about finance. I don't know if that's a good deal. No. I refuse to participate in modern day slavery. I refuse to participate. What does that mean? Sometimes in my life, the cars I've driven have been so embarrassing. Like, bro, they're bad. I've had buddies like take me on and be like, hey, are you okay? We're doing great. I don't care about my cars. And I don't spend a lot of money on my clothes. I mean, and we can go on and on and on, but my identity is in my wife loves me. My identity is in my kids love me and they're safe. My identity is I do a good job at my job. I do good work and I'm a trustworthy, integrous person. My identity is in my faith. And so when I have those things, I don't need all that other crap. But I tell you this to tell you, there's a map out. I'm going to send you for free. I'm going to send you all of Financial Peace University, the whole kit and caboodle. And I'm going to send you 1 year of Every Dollar. Okay? It's the best financial tool in the world. And you link it up with your wife. And when both of you spend, it goes off each other's app and it tells from it can connect with your bank and does all that together. Okay?
Okay.
And but here's the deal. I want you to watch those lessons with your wife on the couch. And if your kid's old enough, make them sit down and watch them too. So this stuff ends with you.
Yeah. I don't want my kids seeing money as a bad thing, and I'm trying. That's part of me, like hiding it, I guess.
But here's the deal, bro. They feel it.
Yeah.
They know dad can't breathe. They know dad is stressed, and they know dad can't sit still in the room because he's worried and worried and worried and worried.
Yeah. How it feels.
It is. And listen, I grew up in that house. My old man was in Houston, and money was always a stressor. Always. And I grew up hating money because of what it did to my dad. For what it told me about my family, that we were somehow worth less than my neighbors. I hated it, man. And I'm in my 40s and I'm just now figuring out money is just a tool. That's it. And a shiny car is cool if you pay for it in cash and you got a whole bunch of other assets somewhere. Otherwise, it's just stupid. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a total flip. But I think beneath all that, so I'm going to give you the tools on the money side, dude. And if you will follow those money principles, my promise to you is in 15 years, you're going to be a millionaire. That's probably a little bit overstated. You may not be I can't promise you that. You're going to have a totally different position, okay? But you have to do the work on making peace with Chris. Because Chris is a good guy. And Chris is a good... No, don't do that. You're deflecting again. Chris is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's got a good brother and he's got a good old man. And they're not perfect. and he's a good husband, and he's doing his best to be the best dad he can be, even though he doesn't know what he's doing. And he's made some stupid decisions with money. The difference between guilt and shame is that was stupid versus I'm stupid.
Yeah,
Okay?
you're right.
You did some dumb stuff. All right, I'm going to learn from that. Same as when you're trying to teach an apprentice in the machine shop. They do something dumb. You're like, dude, don't do that again. Do it like this. And they go, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Same. At least treat yourself. At least talk to yourself. At least love yourself as much as your dad does, much as your brother does, much as your coworkers do. At least, if not more. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's fair, man. It's tough trying to love yourself whenever you don't, I guess, live to the expectations you want to be.
That's right. And so let's be super clear, because a lot of the times this stuff gets real heavy. I want you to spend a season writing this crap down. Like, write down the answer to, what does success look like in my home? And if success has anything to do with square footage or wheels on a car that go round and round and round, you've got that thing sideways.
I feel like I'm winning. I have a great family, like I mentioned, and I just don't know why I can't just be happy with myself.
Well, I think you've got some confidence issues, man, because confidence only comes from a bunch of little successes, and you've had a bunch of stumbles, man. You had a bunch of like, man, shouldn't have done that.
It's like my wins aren't equaling out to my losses.
Yeah, dude. Because you keep borrowing money on depreciating assets, and they're not even paying on it. I mean, it's not hard. It's pretty, it's pretty simple. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get some of your dignity back. You know what that's going to look like? It's going to look like this. I want you to call your brother and say, can I have this car for 12 months? And if he's like, man, that's a long time, be like, I know. I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you $100 a month. And I know that's not even close to what it's worth, but I need some sort of, I got to have some skin in the game here. So I'm going to give you $100 a month just for renting this car from you. And then I want you to pick up an extra shift and an extra shift, and I want you to get $3,500 cash as quick as you can.
Okay.
And I want you to stay as far away from those stupid lots as you possibly can. I want you to get on Facebook Marketplace, and I want you to buy a $3,500 Camry. And they are going to rag you when you pull up to that shop. Oh my gosh, they're going to give it to you. But you know what? You're not going to owe nobody nothing.
You're right.
Nothing. And you could tell your wife, sorry, dude, you married me. If you married me for my Tahoe, then you may need to find somebody else, because I'm a Camry guy for the season.
She's all for it. She's very supportive now.
Of course she is.
She understands.
I'm just clowning on. Of course she is. But look, like, I want you to drive around a $3,500 Camry for a season, man, and make peace with it. And then save up cash and get an emergency fund for your family and pay off all your stupid credit cards. And what we're doing, like, people make this all about if the APR is here and if you invested this, dude, we're not there. I am choosing freedom in my home. Chris in Houston, my family will be beholden to nobody. If I get fired from my job, it's going to be their loss. And I'm going to have to take a week off and kind of shake off the cobwebs, and then I'm finding me a new gig because I got an emergency fund of my own cash in my own bank account. I don't need it. I'm squared up. Totally squared up. This is about choosing reality. Here's the state of things. Take your wife out for breakfast one day, man. Or for lunch. Go out to Papacitas there in Houston, one of the greatest Mexican food places on planet Earth. And just say, what do we want our house to look like? And more importantly, what do we want our house to feel like? What does that look like? How much money is that going to require? What kind of cars is that going to require? It's going to be a lot different than you think. Let's build a picture together, you and her. And let's start leaning into that. And you're going to get a bunch of little wins towards a picture that you and your wife have chosen, a home you all have chosen to build. And dude, now you are off to the races, my friend. And along the way, I want you to remind Chris that you're a good man. You didn't think it was going to feel like this. It feels different than you thought it was going to feel, but the proof is in the pudding. Got a great wife. Got a great kid. Got a good family. Got a home. Got a roof over your head. You don't owe nobody anything. You're a good man, Chris.